Hello, everybody. Hi, chat. Hi, friends. So excited to play. Thanks for your patience here as we roll up. Great session. Shame on me. I did not have enough time to run the recap. So, the Archfey is revived. They're helping out. They're studying up in the library to help Zia and everyone sort of parse out some more information about what's going on here, what's next. Elana has an idea of where this arcane technology is that everyone's looking for. Allie, their benefactor, already has a piece, and Elana can assist in at least setting a direction where the cities used to be, as most cities are floating directly above where they used to be on the ground, some 4,000 years ago. The Archfey wants to reconnect with the power source, the Archfey revealing that they are, in fact, the power source that powers Macaw. They want to reconnect. They keep not only Macaw afloat these days, but all of the islands are interconnected through this power, through their power. They're like a big battery for it. So, in order to keep all the islands floating, they really should reconnect pretty soon. It's not down to the wire, but it's something they want to do to get back into their role that they took on. They were tasked with this by Owl, Overgod, through which they made one single celestial to serve them, and that is Zia's oldest ancestor back in the line there. So, sorry, excuse me. At the end of last session, Sadie was keeping a careful eye on Rinne, the Archfey, as they studied. And they closed the book and said, we need to get Zia to Sadie. Who I think was, oh man, did somebody stay up all night?
Yeah,
Sadie, right? Okay. All right, just to keep that in mind. That's ability checks, I think.
I have it. I have the exhaustion marked.
Okay, neat. And so, man, as I find some ambiance for our stream, and so they're gonna hustle down to find and wake up Zia because it's like first thing in the morning. It's like 4:35. So Zia and Alana, you've had a long rest, but it's going to be kind of the first thing in the morning. So, do you feel like Zia? Do you feel that you would be just like sleeping, or would you be awake?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
So he was like drooling on the pillow,
Mm.
sleeping in like a really weird angle because of being carried and placed in the bed. Kind of like an inchworm a little bit, you know?
Oh, I love that.
Give you an extremely over analyzed visual. So it's important.
Yes.
Setting the scene.
Beautiful. Sadie, are you just following Rin down?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sadie would probably yeah. I mean would probably try to act like that Sadie might know Rin might know where she's going. But Sadie would probably be like, trying to guide, to be the leader. Oh, it's just right this way, even though
You've
Rin
lived
might
here
know
forever?
where it's
Yeah.
at. But
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Thank you. Hmm. Yes. And they're hustling, they're hustling. Um, Ilana, since you're here tonight, I think, let's see, do you trance as an Eladrin? Okay. So I'm gonna say that you hear like bustling feet, Sadie and Rin running past your door, like running. As I imagine Sadie's trying to keep up with Rin and guide.
You might want to watch the steps. Step right.
Nice. Do you want to poke your head out, Ilana?
Yes.
Okay, you'll just kind of catch the trail of them running down the hall. If you wanted to follow, they're headed over. They stop at Zia's door, and I'll jump back to you then, Elana, in a minute. But you see that you're welcome to follow. Do you want to like follow as we like have them role play out Zia? Okay.
I think she would like pause for a second, like kind of watch them run by and stand in the doorway. And like, okay, and follow after.
Gotcha. Okay, so you kind of fall after as Zia. You hear your door. I don't know if that you want that to wake you up or not.
No.
But...
You're like half sleeping, like, who is it?
Oh, it's Rinne
And Sadie.
and say and Elana looks down the hall. I think.
Oh, did we wake you up?
5
I'm
more
sorry.
minutes.
She seems it
Okay.
seems kind of important. See, I'm sorry.
Zia like rolls over, falls off the bed, hits the floor. I'm up, I'm up, I'm up.
Oh,
Is everything
no.
all right in there? Are you safe?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And Zia slowly comes to the door.
Mm.
Is still dressed in all the same outfit as last night.
Yes,
Full
well,
equipment and all.
that's amazing. Good morning. I have found some information regarding a number of things, but I think we can get some true answers. I've learned of the island, while it is not named. I was searching through some other everything I could find geographically to see what might overlay with that particular island, and I discovered that it is actually a site of great power. There are 2 ley lines which intersect where that island is. Powerful rituals and spells can be cast there, and that got me to thinking that we might. I mean, we're not without powerful spells and rituals ourselves. I would like to. You mentioned your memory being either erased or changed. I feel that we can put together the pieces by recovering your memory, and tying it together with your mother's. We need to find something here of hers, and I have just the thing in mind. She always kept a spell component on her person. It was a small vial of her own blood, something to do with her culture. And I recall her with it on that last day. She was racing around to gather all of you, children, but she lost it somewhere in Jolene's room. She went in with it, and after, poor things, before she left, it was no longer on her person. You're the only one that can get us access to Jolene's room.
I mean, I don't know if I can. Like, it's not tied to me. Like, aren't individual. We can only open our own rooms.
This is true for everyone except the owner. As the owner, you need only speak the passphrase, which is your original ancestor.
And they are.
You might recall it worked on one of the basement floors. I honestly don't have the name, but
Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't know that was the original ancestor. Okay,
it's the one.
I just thought that was an ancestor.
Oh, okay.
Classic Claire
No,
conundrum.
you're fine.
I will find it, but let's pretend that we had this discussion already.
Excellent. Yes, and that should allow you access as the owner. If we get her blood, then we can use it in the Scryholder above.
Okay. But that would have to be done at the where we found the Tempest originally.
No. With her blood, if we head to the 9th floor to the Scryholder, then we can
Oh.
use that. It will consume her blood. Um, and you'll need to offer something as well. Perhaps if you're not against a small cut, we can use some of yours.
Mhm.
And it will pull and scry on the history, your blood's history, your mother's history, and we can glean insights. But we need not only yours, but hers, so that we can truly garner insights from both parties and have a complete picture of what happened.
Okay. Okay. Um, I will remember this ancestor's name first.
Nice.
And then we'll go.
You can also just come up with another one, and we can say the last one was a random ancestor. That's fine too. Whichever, excuse me, will work best for you.
Okay. Yeah, screw it. Okay. This is the classic note taker's conundrum, is when you're like, have so many notes. How many episodes
Yes.
are we on now? 82 episodes of notes.
Shit,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah. Um, okay. Cool. We are going with Adathan.
Hey, excellent. So you, interestingly, you heard Rinne speak the name. Now, Sadie and Elana, as you two are there as well, when Rin speaks it, it's that weird sort of like the whole sound of the name is just squished flat and it's just kind of whispered. That is all you two hear. But Zia, you hear it perfectly. You say the name back. They seem to hear it and understand it, but for everyone else, whenever any name in that ancestry is spoken, it's just
And my hearing's going a little bit weird.
Yeah. Ancient Celestials kind of like that.
Interesting.
Well, I guess should we do this now, or
um, I'm ready if you are, but if you still need
oh,
5 minutes.
uh I think we can go.
Look at Sadie and Alana, like,
Sure. Okay.
And so we head over.
okay. You put your hands on the door, it doesn't pop out or anything, but as you say the name,
Adathan.
and it's Jolene's handprints that come out, and they shift momentarily to accommodate your hands, just not a huge difference. And you hear the door unlatch, and then they shift back to Jolene's shape and um, sink back into the door. But the door is now ever so slightly ajar.
Thea's gonna take a deep breath and then open the door slowly.
As you open up the door, you find the room to be filling with the earliest morning light. The room has the energy of a place of quiet contemplation. Bright whites and pastels paint the room and upholstery in here. There's a little corner where several cute, larger stuffies are kind of stacked up with one another. Because gosh, last time, when you all were raised here, she was well, real little. There's a few bookshelves that line one of the walls. There's a lot of books stacked neatly, but there's also some scattered around on the floor from being read. Um, there's a You see some journals stacked next to a dried ink fountain and quill sitting on a desk across the room. There's a bed just to your right, but this desk across the room sits just below a tall window. And there's some soft flowing white curtains that kind of run gently down the wall behind the desk. There's an open journal and a stack of journals next to it, books on the floor, the stuffies, and that's the first thing you see. There's a bed here too, but is there anything you want to go look for or look at first?
I think Zia would probably immediately be drawn to the open journal.
Okay.
And would probably start walking in that direction.
You head in. Sadie and Elana, what do you want to do as you step in here? Are you stepping in behind Zia into the room to help look for that vial? Do you want to look at anything else? Sadie first. Sadie.
Should probably make sure. What are we looking for again? Exactly? A vial?
Rinne. Yes, about this big, a small glass vial full of blood.
Okay. Sia, do you mind if I help look, or do you want to do it yourself?
Yes. She's a little distracted. I think the
Okay.
idea of learning what her sister like genuinely thought of her when they were younger is like just the top thought of her mind. So she's like, yeah, please do what needs to be done.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be gentle and do a little smirk and start looking around.
Nice. Okay. And Elana, how about you?
I sent you a message.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Actually. Yeah.
I think it also works with the description of the item. I don't know if it's like to a different degree of success or anything, but I think you can have a description. But
Okay. Then without saying anything, she'll cast locate object to try and
okay, I think it
vial.
points you to the nearest object which fits the description. Hopefully there aren't too many vials of blood up
Vial of
here.
blood in the room.
Okay, so we'll kind of
What's up,
go.
free?
um, so just to kind of cover, because of course we want to get to some juicy journal action here too. You know what we'll do? Let's start with that. Yeah, and then we'll kind of go around to Sadie and Elana finding things. All right, so you're kind of speed reading through these. You know, it's a young child that was writing these. It's large print. It's mostly easy to read. She seemed to have relatively good penmanship. So it doesn't take a lot to quickly read through and process what's going on in this journal. And you might even find yourself going into some of the other stacks. But the journal entries here reflect a clear shift in quality of life as you read through. They begin with a lot of excitement, including moments with you. A lot of moments with you being born, and the excitement of having a new baby in the house, and meeting your mom and things like that. Being welcomed in, and a little later, there's some references to Titainia, the second sister. Those first few journals, there's a lot of commentary and drawings and stuff about going on different journeys with her new mom, and then over time, you being included, and then a little more scarcely at the end, Titania. Um, there's a few entries that just talk about like doing your best to be strong, like her new mom wants for her, and to be a strong big sister once you came along, to be able to protect and watch over. But there is a definite point where things start to take a bit of a nosedive, and beyond that, even begin to spiral. Um, there's at one point reading through these, you get into the second journal, maybe the third, and you find that she clearly begins to become aware of her mom hiding these rituals from her dad. These journeys are rituals. You start seeing little drawings of that, and you are, of course, already aware of that. Um, and she deals with the pain and the after effects of these rituals herself. She has, because that's what her new mom wants. And even when you were born, still very motivated. But then as she begins seeing you suffer through the pain and the side effects, and then especially Titania, especially, but there's two of you now suffering through it instead of just one. You can see as the journals go on, it makes her start by feeling uneasy and later is absolutely livid. Dark scribbles and other things, and like, just pencils, not like crayon in the later ones, it's a lot of like dark stuff. She's logged a lot of entries of being punished by her new mom as she began kind of discovering and questioning these things. There were some punishments were mentioned in here that seemed pretty kind of cruel and unusual. And there's even a couple entries where she was told by her new mom that if she causes trouble by tattling to your father, that you, Zia and Titania, would have to take up her place, which would mean extra work, extra rituals, extra pain. So there's some hardcore emotional blackmail being recorded in here. And the entries go on, but now they're starting to get racked with guilt. This is where it kind of goes from that nosedive into that spiral, because she is writing in here this inner torment where she can't even bring herself to talk to you or to the new baby, let alone look you in the eye. Um, Seeing that the two of you still think this is something good, and you still look up to. She changes from mom to Maerwynn. She starts referring to her by her first name. And of course, Maerwynn is actually, I forget what you have written as your mom's name. Did you have something written already?
I don't think I
I don't think you
did.
did. Maerwynn, which you would recognize as your mom's name. And it's killing her that the two of you still look up to Maerwynn like she's a good, loving mom. She feels stuck, and she does not know how to fix this. She feels like she doesn't have a way out. And as the entries reach the end of the spiral, they just kind of flatline, where it seems her answer to this cyclical, damaging way of life was to stop feeling altogether. Why feel when there's nothing that can be done? And like one of the last entries just says, feelings are a trap. Um, so that's sort of what you're seeing as you're kind of reading through these diaries. um,
Uh,
Please.
with that last diary and that last um, note, she would slowly close it, put it down, and think really about everything that has been lost so far on our journey, and sometimes how much easier it would have been to maybe have felt that way. But wondering then what would have happened. Like if there had not been feelings for Brilith after Brilith had died, would we have ever brought her back, or if any of the members of the group had felt that way. If Zia had totally turned off her feelings, would she have like attacked and maybe even killed Ash at the idea that she might have been a traitor? And then flashing back, of course, to the incident with the illithid, and that force that kind of entered into her, and how she hurt Titania and Akractus. It's not really like that she feels empathy for Jolene, but also in a way that, like, despite the fact that it's hard to continue to feel in those situations, that if you stop, then you're just going to stop seeing others as anything other than being in the way. And so for others, she's just basically deep in thought, essentially, as everything else is going on.
Okay. Oof. Sort of a Zia silhouette in front with a window behind, you know. My goodness. Okay. The two of you are, so, you know, you take that in a little bit as you're kind of searching around. Of course, a lot of your casting the spells. I'm going to go with Sadie first because you're going to have a beeline, Elana. So, Sadie, you're looking around and taking a look at all the common places. There's, you know, dresser there. There's an area like play areas, a reading area all around, like that front door, the doorway where you came in. There, you see a lot of, gosh, the stuffies are really cute. There's one that looks like Gorg, because, you know, Gorg's just been a permanent fixture there. There's a ton of books, and they're mostly in Common and some in Celestial, and there's even some Sylvan in there too. And it's a lot of storybooks, a lot of fantasy-esque, take you away to another place in time. Place where there's offices and streets. And no, just kidding. Just a lot of interesting things like that. One thing you find of note, you don't come across the vial before Elana is, just because Elana's using a spell that will instantly point it out. But you're being thorough, you're looking around, you do find that you might pause on something Zia may or may not want. But within the dresser, tucked under the back of some you know, socks and stuff in the top drawer, is a drawing that Jolene had made, and it has what you little names written in. So Jolene, Zia, Titania, and they're all being held in two really big arms, like on you know, an angelic figure that's like vastly bigger than they are, just holding all three of them in his arms at once. And his dad. It looks really peaceful and sweet drawing,
Uh,
and it's signed by
Zia.
Jolene.
Oh, Zia.
Uh,
You might
yes.
you might want this. And she'll just kind of hand over the drawing.
Zia will take it and kind of turn away, and you'll start to see some of her tears kind of fall onto the picture.
They do.
I think Sadie would probably just go back to the door and just kind of stand there.
Start walking back. The Elana knelt down beneath the bed, sort of like shoulders deep under the bed. Leaning and looking,
What?
rummaging the bed.
I hope you're finding something under there, Elana.
Yes, I think it's over here.
Okay. Sadie is so just as Elana, you do in fact find this little vial. Seems like the chain is broke. Like, because you don't know that outside of you didn't hear Rinne's description like Sadie did, or like Zia did. Oh no, I guess you were there, so you know that she might have been, gathering everyone in a rush, and it came off. It looks like it was definitely just in a rush, and it got yanked off. So as you're finding that, since you're standing right there, Sadie, I'll also note that the bed itself, um, tucked carefully under the blankets of her bed, up to her pillow, are three little action figures snuggled together, kind of tucked in under the sides. Each of them very much looking like, well, I guess this would be more for if Zia ends up spotting it, but it looks like the childhood version of her and Zia and Titainia. The hair on the little action figures looks like their actual hair, like they made these themselves and use snippets of their own hair to do the hair on the action figures.
Sadie will kind of look over her shoulder towards Zia and probably see that Zia's still composing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So Sadie would I just keep that to herself for this moment, just to see if Zia maybe notices it on her own.
Let's take a quick minute and just do the DM inspo roll.
Okay.
Just in case. We might not need it during this,
Oh,
but I don't want to
gosh.
forget.
I don't have my dice out.
Oh, nice.
The tragedy.
Well, while you're getting your dice out, I'll add that I think Rinne, since they are in here as well, seeing that, will kind of walk over and probably say aloud, mostly to Zia, "Oh, I'd like to take these. You all played with these as children, but because it has your hair, we can get their perspectives too."
And Zia's just like trying to just wipe her eyes and before turning around, and it's like, yes, yeah, do whatever you think is best.
I'm gonna scoop them up. All right, let's roll that DM inspo dice. Steph, what'd you get?
We got a 12.
Okay. Claire?
A 1.
Ooh, okay.
Aw.
And Lil?
3.
Oh, okay. Sadie has that rolled a 17. So plus.
Inspo.
Nice. All right, Elana, you have that bottle. What do you want to do as you come out from under the bed with the bottle in hand?
After she grabs it, she'll try to start like inching out from under the bed,
Mm-hmm.
but underestimates how far she's in, so she like hits her head on the way out. Ow, ow. I found the vial, and kind of like holding her head a bit as she like holds it up.
Poor thing.
Was this what you were looking for?
Yes, that's it. Let's. If you're ready, kind of looks over to Zia. We will head to the.
Yes, let's go now. I don't know how much longer I can really stay in here.
And so you all head to the wrong document. 9th floor. So you have all just been calling this sort of like the room of scrying. And do I have this image in my here to show people? Oh man, I hope so, but I don't know that I do. You oh no, there's that, I guess. Um, but he's been they rather, because it's Rin we're talking about. Rin was calling this the um Scryholder, which this has been, gosh, I don't have it in here. Yeah, bummer. You've all seen, I think, the image where within the center of this room has like a gentle slope down to the center of the room as the elevator. Bing, you all step in. It's a very dimly lit room, and in the center is effectively a giant sphere with hexagonal plates of some foreign metal on it, and within the center of each plate is an eyeball that glows red with like an embered orange and red with a dragon slit eye, and they're all over the face of this. There's 20 some that make up the entire structure. It's this giant eye thing is about 15 feet from one side to the other. And there's a big maw in the front that has jagged teeth, metal jagged teeth, and that's where you put like the components in. You use this to scry on Liazana, but because it has the form of a beholder, sort of, there seems to be some truth in its roots because he's calling it the Scryholder. Like a beholder but scrying. Kind of clicks as you come up here. It's like, oh. Right. I have the component of value to use. That's covered. We have the blood of your mother. We'll feed it. Some of your blood, Zia. And or we can actually, now that we've discovered the dolls, we can use
She
some
has
of
literally
their...
got a dagger like to her hand.
well,
It's like,
you can. But if we just cut some of the hair off the action figures, then we'll be good.
okay.
They kind of go in and cut the hair, so there's hair from you and your sisters, and turns to Elana. May I? A vial.
Oh, yeah. He hands it to her.
Right, places that in, and draws forth from a satchel on the side this really expensive looking crystal. It's like a softball size crystal, diamond rather. All right, and places that in the maw. Begin process of scrying the histories. There's a time frame which I'll cast a ritual, get a better understanding of what's happened here. With any luck, we'll get some answers on why your memories were, what happened to your memories, what happened to your father. Let us begin. This ritual will center around you, Thea, so I would like to initiate your mind and get it into the right mindset for by covering some of your lineage. Tracing your roots backwards will help in the process of beginning this spell. And so, I will share from your past. Your father, of course, Raziel, and again, is you hear it. Everyone else is just kind of wisps away. Your father Raziel had Jolene with his first wife, Christiana Crowley. Christiana sadly died in childbirth, birthing a celestial. As you may or may not know, it's rather difficult. Mortals can have no more than one child of a celestial. It is too much for mortals to bear any more than that. While he loved Christiana deeply, she did die in childbirth. And you start seeing one of the eyes kind of fades in. And you're actually looking through the point of view. It's up really high, so you imagine it's probably Raziel's. And he's looking down at a woman as she is in labor, and there's just this incredibly bright flash of divine light that fills the eye. It's kind of like a viewing monitor. The eye, everything within the eye has gone blank, and it's just video playing in it, basically. And yeah, then there's a cry you can hear. There's a cry that has sort of a ubiquitous origin. It's really just kind of fills the room without having a source. And as the cry continues, the light fades, and you see Christiana having passed there on the bed. In the process, that whatever that divine energy was seemed to be the last that she could take. Good. The spell is taking hold. Sometime after, Raziel met Maerwynn. And you see there's one eye that kicks in first. That same one that we were just seeing through Raziel's eyes. And you're approaching. There's just an unimaginable beauty. You see moment after moment play through where she speaks to Raziel and treats him just as she would anyone else, and no differently despite his celestial nature. And you hear these conversations, you hear him, it flashes through different scenes where he's remarking kind of to himself the appreciation that being a celestial 17 feet tall, everything else, and and godly, people are like, oh, some people worship, some people are scared, this and that. And it seems to really connect with him to just be treated, as the person underneath all that. He's got his mission, he's got everything else, but he really seems to appreciate that, and he falls in love. But there's another eye that crackles on, and it has almost like a little bit of a reddish hue over it. Kicks in. And this appears to be Maerwynn's point of view. And because you see it seems an empty bedroom, and the point of view sits up, and there's a couple beautiful tattoos that Maerwynn has down her arms and over onto her hands, and you see those just like you saw a moment ago in Raziel's. You see in this, and she sits up. And the room around her shifts and fades. And for anyone that's for you, Zia, you've had visions. You know the energy. It shifts into a vision. You're witnessing a vision through Maerwynn's eyes. And you see a vision of baby Jolene. Baby Jolene is growing in power and using magic and seems to be really advanced for her young age. And as it fades and resumes back to the room that Maerwynn is in, she fits the prophecy. You hear her say? Now, this same eye of Maerwynn joins in that first meeting with Raziel. But you witnessed her purposefully be there. You witnessed her finding out where Raziel's going to be and making sure she's there. The screens fade and adjust again. Raziel's screen witnesses their wedding day. It advances in time. You get sort of a sense that energy kind of fills the space too. So you get a rough idea of some emotions and things too. Their hopes and dreams are brimming. Raziel's just very, full of life. He's thrilled to have this woman in his life. For him, for his daughter Jolene, to have someone to look up to in a motherly role. And yeah, and then the other reddish hue eye comes on again, Maerwynn's, and you see and feel Maerwynn is joining in union with Raziel in hopes of Jolene becoming something, fulfilling his prophecies. The energy you get, she has hopes and expectations of Jolene. Why she's here. The eyes flip back and forth, and you witness some other scenes. Maerwynn begins performing these rituals that you are aware of, Zia, on Jolene at different places of power. A new eye opens, clearly Jolene's, as a very low point of view to the ground. Even from those first couple of months of life moving upward through the stages, I'm sorry, she's been born for a while. Jolene, is already old enough to kind of appreciate this new mom and look up to her, and she wants to please her, and her mom is asking her in this vision, says, I want you to become strong like Ow. And you can tell Jolene doesn't know who that is. But she just wants to be useful and make her new mommy happy. Raziel's screen shows him extremely happy and joyous at the birth of his next daughter, Zia. They're in another delivery room. Maerwynn giving birth this time. You do hear someone mention her last name, too. Maerwynn Morningfall. In this room. And you're just filled with the joy and the excitement and this new addition to the family. And let's see. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Where am I? Okay. Yeah. All right. And then Jolene's screen shows her ecstatic. She's a little like trepidatious about going over and greeting the new baby. They're new. They're delicate. But Raziel calls her over to meet the new sister. And it's a beautiful moment. And Maerwynn's eye crackles again with that reddish hue. Maerwynn's screen still plays earlier memories, as though catching up to this. You experience these frustrations that Jolene is not advancing in power as she should. And that with each passing month, these frustrations grow. And through the eye, you see her in the middle. It jumps to the middle of her writing a missive to someone or just somewhere. And it speaks about how there are more and more signs from the prophecy that Jolene is just not meeting, not matching up. And near the end of this missive, she writes, she's not the one. But I'll continue to try. And then it jumps to Maerwynn giving birth to Zia. And you feel that her hopes are restored. She knows that Raziel's, this is in another missive where she writes, we know Raziel to be the father of the prophecy child of the dawn. I will have as many children as necessary with him to make that happen. This is my commitment. This is my role. And Zia is powerful right from birth. And But you get that feeling, this is, within the first couple of months of Zia's birth, Maerwynn's feeling, wow, Zia can be the one. There's so much power here, but there's much more work for me to do with her. More power, rituals of power. And so the visions continue to flip. Maerwynn begins performing rituals on both Zia and Jolene, all around these different places of power. And she keeps empowering both of them as she writes in a missive. She's hedging her bets. She's going to do everything she can with any children she has to produce this child of the dawn. Jolene's screen and a new eye that clicks on Zia's point of view. Jolene's and Zia's screens show the two of them growing very close. They both take joy in their lives and having each other. And they both love their mom. But you do notice that they both also walk a bit on eggshells so as not to anger their mom. Witness their mom's temper a time or two. And so while they love their mom very much, they're very careful not to upset her. You just never know what's going to set her off. Maerwynn's scream crackles as the others kind of fade a bit. And it shows again even more promise with Zia. She's excited and she's pushing the limits of these rituals as a result. She begins solely focusing on Zia as it flickers through these different memories. And she wants to make sure that she can control Zia when Zia comes into her power. The distance begins to grow between her and Jolene. And the distance between Maerwynn and Jolene grows, and she doesn't even give it a single thought. She encourages the distance that's just beginning between Jolene and Zia. She's trying to forcefully remove and drive a wedge between the two of them. She doesn't want anyone else to hold any sway over Zia. No one but herself. Still, though Zia is hitting most of the signs of the prophecy at the right times when they're prophesized, some are still missed, just a few. So you catch her writing another missive to whomever or wherever. She may be the one, but my duty continues. I'll bear as many as I can to ensure the prophecy comes to be in our lifetime. And her eye kind of fades a bit, and Raziel's and Maerwynn's comes back into lights back up, shows the two of them together choosing a celestial deliverer for their next child. Because a mortal can only have one baby. I think you learned some of this in the biology at one point, Zia. They'll sometimes have another surrogate that will give birth. And so, I mean, not really a surrogate because it's Maerwynn's out of the loop. But that's what they call them, a celestial deliverer. And there's a number of candidates that some just want to, there's like worship elements, there's other elements, but there's a person that Maerwynn appreciates for her health and ability to have this baby without anything going wrong. And Raziel appreciates because she just kind of has a heart to help. She's not worshiping anybody or anything like that. Her name is Alyssa Cloudfang. That's two S's, Alyssa, Cloudfang. And time skips through these different visions. She, Titania's mother, Raziel's screen begins to show once again, and the room fills with this pure delight. Love for his wife, love for his children, and his newborn baby, Titainia. and even love and care for the divine deliverer, who's clearly been made to feel as one of the family. Um, Thea and Jolene um, interacting lovingly with her, new baby Titania. Zia's screen, her point of view, crackles a bit and shows a little understanding of what's going on. She's still pretty young, but the excitement in the room is contagious. And Zia kind of watches and marvels at the new baby cooing and wiggling in Alyssa's arms. Jolene's screen shows her standing a bit distant at first. She's very excited, but a little hesitant. This might be around that time where she's kind of becoming aware of. Actually, it's definitely a good bit into the time where she's becoming aware. Raziel, holding little Zia in his arms, calls Jolene over, asking if she wants to meet her new baby sister. He races over into her father's arm as they lean in to say hello to little Titania. Maerwynn's eye crackles again. Maerwynn, during this event, standing back a decent way across the room. The emotions that fill the room, she is very pleased that her plans are unfolding as they should. Her monitor then shows her flipping through several places of power over the next few months' time, now with all three children. Titania is still that newborns over the first 3 months of Titania's life. Jolene's monitor crackles in as the others fade and shows her starting to keep her distance from her siblings. She goes through the motions just as she has started to do now, not engaging, keeping everyone at arm's length. Zia's monitor crackles in and shows her trying to connect with Jolene, being shut down and snapped at by Jolene. It also shows in Zia's monitor Maerwynn snapping at her, yelling, grabbing, throttling her, shaking her. When she gets incantations wrong, this is for Zia. When she gets tired and needs a break, and sometimes just for sneezing, breathing, or otherwise existing. Being in the wrong place at the wrong time seems to set her mom off at this point. You feel a little resentment in Zia because Jolene seems to get away with a lot more. Mom doesn't bite at her as much. But unless her mom's in one of her moves where everyone gets a wrath. But that's sort of Zia's impression of experiencing Maerwynn not really care about Jolene as a young child. Maerwynn's screen is back on. The screen shows her working with Titania now. A missive comes in across the screen where she's writing and stating that Titania is just as powerful as Zia and is meeting even more of the signs of the prophecy. She believes Titania may be the one, but will continue to monitor and force them both closer to coming into their power to determine which is the child of the dawn. That fades away. Raziel's monitor kicks back in. It shows him the room fills with a sadness, a heavy-weighted sadness, as Alyssa says. Alyssa is what you see in the video in the monitor, telling him that she must take her leave. She's grown very close with the children and Raziel, and there's a genuine care and comfort to her presence. It's just the two of them in this room, in this monitor. She turns to walk away, but gives a moment's pause and looks back at Raziel and says, "It may not be my place, but if I left without saying, I feel it would be a disservice to both you and the children. I believe Maerwynn to be a good mother and a good wife. There's something within her behavior that grates at the edges of my mind, like flint trying to start a spark to no avail. Sometimes it seems as though that she is part of a troupe of players, perfectly performing her role, to which there is no actual truth. Please, just be careful. If you find the same, please share with her that you may come to some understanding of why. Come to understand one another better. Yes, something else I wish you to know. While reading a story to Jolene this morning, she was told to play with the other children. In her stack of books, under the book that was next to be read, there was a journal. I'd never seen before, any before in her room. It felt as though she was leaving it for me to see, as it was open to a particular page. Under the next book she asked me to read, and it spoke of rituals that Maerwynn performs with the children. And they're not pleasant. And perhaps it's just the fanciful writings of someone who's second sibling. Maybe they're worried about losing more attention. But I've seen Maerwynn take the children off the island numerous times, and I thought nothing of it, of course. But some of the dates in her journal, Jolene's journal, match the dates Maerwynn took them away. They do always seem so tired and worn out when they returned. I'd always thought it from a busy day spent out with their mother. But it just feels off enough where I needed to tell you. Anyway, walks up and point of view leans down and she gives a big hug to Raziel and a kiss on his forehead and takes her leave. And his monitor actually becomes a little clouded up with welling up with some tears before it kind of fades off. And Maerwynn's monitor crackles on again, that maroon hue, and shows her with the children, preparing what looks like one of the most potent rituals to date. Spell components everywhere, in a massive spell circle, a lot of preparation in this. They're on some small, uninhabited island. And the ritual's performed. The ritual runs long. It's here in this island. You recognize it as the island. There's definitely some features here that you would recognize. The island where you found the Tempest. You currently know that 2 ley lines intersect there, which is like a stupidly massive amount of magic. Clearly, she was aware of this as she's casting this ridiculously high-level spell one after another in this ritual. The amount of magic is visible, like a wild torrent of iridescent colors shifting and forming through this circle. She pushes the children hard in this vision, in this monitor, to get every drop of magic she can out of this ritual. The children's monitors, Zia, Jolene, and even little baby Titainia, are a little difficult to watch during this. Because, again, all of them, even Titainia, now about 3 months old, is subjected to, like, near lethal amounts of arcana, each to, like, their maximum that they can handle, and then given little rest before again, and rest, and then again. Maerwynn's monitor crackles and shows her exuberance. She's thrilled. There's no care or concern for these children. She's exuberant at the ritual being such a monumental success as it wraps. But you feel in the room a little panic at how long the ritual ran. She needs to get back. Raziel's monitor crackles back on as hers fades. And it shows him in the celestial realms, often as described in different scriptures and other things. Beautiful, heavenly. And before him, in his point of view, he's cast an illusion. He's replaying. The illusion replays before him of Alyssa's farewell and her warnings. And you feel there's a sort of like there's a hint of like a longing to be reconnected, because you can feel the connection, that genuine love and care, versus, there is a little something off, obviously, with Maerwynn's love. And so there's just that wanting to be like loved in a very comforting way, that they kind of shared an unspoken thing. And so he's playing this, but the warnings play again that Alyssa gave him. And so he decides to return to the Prime early today. You see him tell the people that he's working with, the other lesser celestials, will pick up in the next visit. I need to go home early. And so, just on the off chance that something truly is awry at home, and something is, he gets home just before Maerwynn. She's not expecting him there. And she arrives with the children in tatters. And between Raziel's monitor and Maerwynn's, they show this ensuing confrontation. And a lot of this, Zia, you actually have in a previously recovered memory. It kind of clicks what was going on. Raziel sees the children weak, battered, wounded. Seeing his babies, Jolene, is the feelings in the room too. His babies, Jolene, Zia, and Titainia in such a state. And the betrayal, feeling of betrayal is almost palpable. That someone he held so dear and trusted so implicitly with the children and their safety and love could not only allow this to happen, but seemingly be behind doing this. And this intense argument ensues. And Raziel's asking the purpose of such an intense and powerful ritual that takes this kind of toll. And Maerwynn is trying to spin this. She insists this is part of her heritage, her culture, that she went through the same thing as a child. These rituals are a rite of passage. Raziel, looking down at the poor battered form of like sweet Titainia, 3 months old. He knows this doesn't add up. He knows it's not safe. And he barks, if you won't answer truthfully, I'll find out myself. And she pauses, and the thespian takes over. Tears begin to flow, and the near histrionics play out as she says there is more to it, so much more, but it's all so personal, and it hurts so much, and this ritual has drained her, and she needs to get the children their healing and rest herself. But in the morning she will explain everything. She'll share everything and explain everything to him. But you know, Zia, she has lied. She just lied once again. In Raziel's monitor and in the room, you can feel that he recognizes his rage in this moment. And looking at his children, knows that this is not a good space to be in to discuss this, and that the priority is his little babies. So he leans down and gathers the children and says, I'll heal the children. They'll rest with me in the canopy. Jolene's monitor in particular gets brighter than the others. The vision, the video playing, foggy as wells up with tears. And the feelings weigh heavy on the heart in this room. She didn't think this was ever possible. The feelings that she shoved down are now erupting like a volcano. It came out. Her dad knows the truth. She didn't say anything. She can be protected. Her dad is here right now, clearly angry on their behalf, taking them literally under his wing away from their mom, who's been doing all this emotion manipulation, everything. The guilt, though, of disconnecting with their siblings, the guilt coupled with the absolute relief that it might finally be over, is just so much for her to bear or process in this moment. But on top of everything, she just feels safe. And she revels in that and the fact that she knows her sisters are safe too. The monitors have turned off and come back on. As the monitors show that the top floor of the estate, that one that has like an overlook out on the island, is the canopy. It's the penthouse part. And you can see it from the children's eyes and Raziel's. There's a large solar-sized hammock. The kids see is sort of, it's cradling Raziel. He's got his wings out and just sort of wrapping all the kids up like blankets, tucked up underneath in his arms. And they're all safe and sweet and safe, and just all have a great sense of relief. Maerwynn's monitor crackles on with that terrible red. It shows her sketching out the layout of the runic symbols that she always prepares after every ritual at the ritual site. Every time, wraps up the ritual, puts this new rune, these new runes down, and leaves. Every time setting this trap for the day that he finds. He needs to make sure it'll work without a hitch. And well into the night, she practices this subtle spell. Fades out. The monitors come back on. You can see them through everyone's point of view. And they're all viewing this tiny island where the two ley lines intersect, and all this potent magic is where they just performed that ritual the day before. Maerwynn's sobbing and explaining that it's she needs him to understand and show him what happened. It's not, it looks bad, but it's not that bad. She goes to show him the ritual site and explain the reasons why. And she starts in on this it all started when kind of speech, and starts bringing up clearly fictional history, until he steps into the place where this arcane trap is set. The rune's inactive by default to avoid detection. She subtly, without a sound or any movement, activates the terrible banishing ritual on Raziel. Any of you, I don't know if any of you have banish, but Rinne's definitely going to be like, she's banishing him. The witness, tethered to this spot now. Raziel racks himself against these arcane chains that have lurched up and bound him. He begs for answers through rage from Maerwynn. And when he realizes he's not going to get any answers, she's just continuing this ritual, he turns to his daughters. I will return for you. Be strong. Find Alyssa. Don't believe a thing Maerwynn tells you. Monitors of the children looking up at their dad. The room fills with that fright and that utter, saying the rug is pulled out from underneath you is a complete injustice, is feeling when they finally felt they had their safety. And together you see their monitors as they hold one another, the three children. Raziel vanishes. The spell needed. You watch from the children's point of view as Maerwynn takes out a small box out of her pack. It says a command word and it unfolds into the little ship, the runabout. You watch as the children, unable to move almost, huddled up, holding one another. Watch Maerwynn scuttle the tempest here in this island and works her magics to hide it from the world. Maerwynn, done with her work, approaches the children and begins casting a dark ritual spell on them, and their screens turn off one after another. Maerwynn's screen fades and then clicks back on. There's a missive she's writing once again. She speaks of the banishing ritual that she's cast on Raziel, assuring that it will prevent him from returning to the prime material plane and interfering with their work. She notes that she's removed the memories of the children. As she finishes the missive and rushes to gather the children and bring them to the runabout, you can witness as she gathers the children in a hurry and loses her pendant, as Jolene fights back against being taken with her mom off the island. Maerwynn's monitor shuts off. And across the children's monitors, they turn on. And across the children's points of view, you watch as Maerwynn, she brings them all to a small village, it seems. On a network of relatively obscure islands, you see the approach, just a small grouping of islands, and one of them has a couple villages on there. And so time plays out. Within that first week, only a handful of days, you're watching as Zia and Titainia are in their modest new house in the village, and Maerwynn leaves with Jolene. Just, Jolene, come with me. And she returns later that day without Jolene. Here's a different ship. That might come up in a bit. I'll cover that in a bit. She returns later that day with Jolene and instructs them not to ask any questions or ever mention Jolene's name again. And you can feel the kids know better than to ever test that. We see in Maerwynn's eye, once again, a missive. Reports that she settled in the village named in the prophecy with Zia and Titainia to see which child would fulfill it. She quotes a portion of the prophecy stating that on the date prophesied, there in Lurlin village, the prophecy says that the child of the dawn, and she puts in this sentence, or as known in other versions, the child of ruin, will stand in the ruins at the eastern edge of the island. They'll look upward to face the dawn, and in that moment, their celestial ancestry will take hold for the first time. You think perhaps that's where this whole child of the dawn came from, which is part of the prophecy. And so time continues until that date prophecy comes to be. And in the morn of that date, there in the ruins, young Titainia, only 10 months of age, being about 7 months, stands for her very first time, takes her first steps, or stands up for the first time, and faces the sun at dawn. Her celestial nature taking hold of the first time as glorious angelic wings bloom from her back. You see it only take Maerwynn 15 minutes to pack up the essentials, namely money, food, and Titainia. Set the safe house ablaze in the village, and leave Zia behind in the yard. As she did not need her anymore, she was not the child of the dawn. She cast her dark magic once again on Zia, replacing these fresh memories of the past 7 months with a different story. The story of a loving mother lost to a house fire. The story of an only child with a father that left her and has no one to rely on. Now, the other monitors shut off and only Zia's remains. As the house, now collapsed, lay burning and smoldering. Mind you, this is 15-30 minutes later. Burning and smoldering. Zia looks up to the sky where this luxurious ship her mother's been using the past several months since they passed through Atmos Isles. Got rid of the little roundabout, and they've been using a beautiful ship. Stunning, looks unlike any other ship that's in the ports. Zia, go ahead and make a perception check if you would. I think you're the only one here that would know anything about it. So you can do it with advantage as you're probably intently watching.
Okay. Well, I just rolled without advantage and got a 17. So should I?
That's fine.
Is that gonna be good enough?
That's plenty. Yeah. You know, not this particular ship, but there's only one style of ship that has architecture like this that you've ever seen that does not have a name on the ship present. And that's the ship of the Order of the Dawn, Titania's mother. The ones that have prophecies and visions, like Titania. It's definitely, I mean, that's one of their ships. And so, as again, the house lay collapsed and burning, and the embers floating across the yard here, 30 minutes after this prophecy fulfilled with Titania. Zia looks up to the sky where this luxurious ship her mother's been using disembarks the small island with no memory of anything before these altered memories of the past half a year, or any understanding of the events that just unfolded, and being just shy of, oh my goodness, of 2 years old herself. That's how old the math came out to. In this moment, she knows as it fills the room only sorrow and fear, and as villagers try to snap her to her senses, the monitor fills up with tears streaming down young Zia's face. She clenches her hand. She looks down and she clenches her hand into a tight fist. And the monitor fills with a ring of a glow as this angelic glow springs from her eyes, frightening the villagers around her, trying to help her. As the fire burns in the background, the villagers bustle about, trying to put it out. You can see over Zia's shoulders, she turns her head, wings sprout forth, her celestial form, coming to life for the first time with this rage, with these feelings. And this energy shockwave blows out across the yard, and the villagers begin to run. And as this fades, you're just left with some of the lingering feelings of this whole area. These are things that Z would go on to remember. That rumors would spread over the years in this village of the child in the woods. Some sort of monster of the village whore. Someone to look down upon, but to stay away from, lest she mate a deadly fate. And so was Zia's life until the day that she and Bo decided to set out to find the father that left her and her mother behind. Monitor shuts off for the last time. All the eyes seem to be returned back to their dragon pupils.
Zia is just silent, and you can see, just like the day that the wings burst out, that her tears are trickling down her face as the light in her pupils starts to kind of expand beyond the pupil and into the rest of her eye, filling it with more and more white. She's just trying to suppress the feelings because of the last time that this happened was when she attacked Titainia. But she can kind of feel that the wings are bursting forth again almost outside of her volition. And so as everyone else looks on, you can see like these like enormous wings attempting to burst forth out of her back. And it just like under the surface, like moving in a very unnatural sense. Zia then falls to her knees and just starts coughing, going almost like in and out of consciousness before eventually it seems like beginning to stabilize a little bit.
Relax. If anything at all I can do, Zia.
Don't know if anything will bring them back. We let Titania go back. We let her go back. She was going to confront her mother. And Jolene is gone. And she'll kind of like turn, and you'll hear just like in a very guttural celestial, like, what hope is there to Rinne? What can be done?
And Celestial There must be answers. There must. If nothing can undo this wicked tragedy, perhaps we can. Your father was banished. The power that island. Perhaps we can find a way to return him. Perhaps we can reach out to your sister and if she's not safe, make haste to bring her to safety.
If Maerwynn had thought so far ahead to have set a trap like that, ordinarily I think that she would have been smart enough to know that eventually one day we would find things out.
Mm.
Clearly she had somehow transformed even you into that creature. I don't want to take someone that powerful lightly.
It worries me that she's of the Order of the Dawn. My understanding that they have the ability to see the future with great accuracy. But we can plan. We can plan.
And if they know our plan,
Shrugs like,
what is this, the child of the dawn even mean? What is this, the prophecy that they are speaking of? I mean, all this time I've been so worried that Jolene was trying to tear down the fabric of reality. I never really stopped to think that something else might be happening at the same time that might be darker. What could even hope to be darker than that? than destroying the fabric of everything that we know.
It did strike me as concerning or odd at first, but then grew to a concern that in one of those memories, Jolene said that she wished to do as her mother asked and become like Owl. Owl is not just a deity, but an overgod. If she is trying to manifest that sort of power from his lineage, complete control over not only reality but deities.
Do you think? Zia will turn kind of to take take in everyone else, and you'll notice that the light had actually fully overtaken her right eye, and so it's now just like a very like pure white light emanating from it. Um, and as she's kind of taking a little bit of note where everyone stands. She'll just let out a deep breath and be like, okay. One thing at a time. Okay. We have a sending stone to talk to Titania. We can start with that. We reached out to Vaslo, who may be a powerful ally should the time come. And I think, I mean, if there was one thing my mother was right about, I am awful with anything remotely magical. So maybe if we do go to the ley lines, we can figure out a way to bring Raziel back, to bring my dad back. But before we can do any of that, we need to restore power to the island.
Yes. When that's done, I can also research this, see if the library holds anything on this prophecy, or where we might find out more at least. Research Child of the Dawn and Child of Ruin. But yes, let us tackle first things first. We hear a ping. The elevator arrives. And the door opens, and you just see Vic taking a few strides in. He's got a big sandwich in one hand. Oh, sorry. Do you all eat lunch here too? And that's where we'll take our little munchy bio break to get snacks and other stuff. Oh my goodness. Well, that was a lot.
Quick
Yeah.
question, Dan. Did we were all able to see the eye stuff,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Now, the conversation that happened after the eye stuff, was that all in Celestial?
I will just say only the original part,
Okay.
the first couple things,
Okay.
Mhm.
like
And the rest of it
what
was
is
in
to be
common.
done, and then after that, everything else would have been in common.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Nope. Good question. I should have clarified.
It's okay.
That's good.
Uh,
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna go
Ah.
process all this. And we're gonna take about a 10-minute bio break for anyone that doesn't know. Our audio will be hot, so chat with us. We can chat with you, ask us your questions in chat and such. And we'll catch you in about 10 minutes. Here we go. Boop. I hit the button.
Tan.
All right. So I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't too much like speechy, but there was so much stuff that you've been working toward
Sure.
that I want to make sure it connected all the things.
Yeah, you did an amazing job of making it all connect. Like when you were like, I spent 2.5 hours putting this together, I was like, okay, this is gonna be like,
What are you doing, Dan? Nice. They had
what
it
a
like,
payoff.
oh, good. It was
sorry,
like
go ahead.
bullet point for me, and like I need to put this so I can kind of like make it flow. So I'm glad it hit. I'm glad it hit. Because you've been picking like all these little pieces over 80 episodes now. I just want to make sure it did it justice. Oh, thank you, Drew.
Absolutely. A lot to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Lot to think about.
And poor Titainia, if you recall, thinks that that's like her actual mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And her mom hates her.
Terrified.
She doesn't know why. Yeah. She's not even her own. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's so.
Yeah, gotta focus on hopefully Titania can still be saved.
Yeah.
And hopefully Jolene can be too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's juicy Jolene stuff. I don't like ever just having an NPC like without like building up to it or things being left alone. like just being like they died, sorry. So like there'll be options for all that, yeah. Because you've been very interactive with Titania until she just went to go do her thing. So I wouldn't rob you of the opportunity.
Yeah, no. Oh,
All right, I'm gonna make my
okay.
coffee. I'll be
Well,
back. Yeah.
yep. I'm gonna go. Incredible. Oh, oh, oh.
hands. Oh my goodness. Let's go have a fun battle.
Yeah.
You
Woo. Trauma.
have plenty to sit with for the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In a good way. In a good way.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Feel like it's a nice transition to like you've been working so hard at answers, so it's like here's okay, answers incoming. Now you know you can figure out like where to go to tackle those things.
Oh yeah. We got some fun stuff for the after show for sure. Which you
Amazing.
can listen to if you join the Patreon. Subtle shout out.
Love that. Yeah. I'll
Yeah.
sneak that in chat.
Oh.
What is today? I'll bring us back from break here. Oh my goodness. Thank you all for hanging tight and waiting for us on our little break there. Man. Okay, so some heavy hitting RP moments. That's as we were saying there, Zia's been pursuing a number of these answers for 80 episodes. The island itself tracks back to episode 1 where you found the Tempest. And that's where it was buried and illusion worked to hide it. Happenstance, or I guess we'll see. Fate at work. So yeah, some excellent digging into that for so long, and we'll see where to go from there. For now, let's with Vic sandwich in hand. Of course, I'm positive that as soon as Vic sees you at all upset, he's gonna like rush over and see if there's anything he can do and ask if you're all right and offer you some of his sandwich, like little things that he thinks might help, But otherwise, if you're all feeling ready, if you want to I'm sorry, let me give you all an opportunity to roleplay before we head down to the other room, because that was a lot, and then we need to hit our bio break. So I'm gonna say Vic does that, has a moment with you, Lucia, and then it's gonna be like actually, do you have anything that he can do in this moment?
Not in particular. I think
He's gonna resolve himself to make like 5 of your favorite foods for the meal tonight, knowing you're gonna be fighting and stuff. I'm gonna get you set. When you're done, you put your feet up, I'll rub your feet, eat your food, I'll feed you your food if you want. Like you relax.
and Zia's just gonna say, like while we're down there, just check in with your family and keep them close in your thoughts.
All right. You're done with everything. If you're all hungry, come find. I'll have everything ready for you. So.
We will. Oh, and if you do have a chance, and she'll explain that the bag of sending,
Mm-hmm.
and that we had sent a letter.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind, kind of at some point today, checking to see if we've received anything back, that would be wonderful.
Absolutely. Kind of head back down the elevator, leaving Sadie and Elana in the room with Zia, in case you, and with Finn, who's just patiently just says, let me know when you're ready, and Finn goes over by the elevator to wait for y'all.
I think that probably Sadie would just look very like maybe a little angry. Not really directed at Zia, but just in just a general kind of like if someone like you know, heard a story that made them angry, right? So not really angry at anyone in particular in the room, but just in general, and just with a very kind of like, you know, anyways, and with what Zia said about, you know, oh, well, we have to go and do this, like, you know, and pretty much compose, you know, I mean, not pretty much composed, but a little bit more composed at this moment. I think Zia said, or you know, Claire said. I think that Sadie would just kind of not, you know, look at Zia with kind eyes and just, you know, well then, let's go. And just kind of turn and go towards the elevator with Bryn.
Anything for Elana?
She would just go up and put her hand on Z's shoulder. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. It means a lot. And I'm really glad that you're here. And as Zia is getting up, she changes the cloak of many fashions to kind of match somewhat the style of what her father was wearing during the fight with Maerwynn the last time.
Hold it together, Dan.
All right. Okie dokie. You're all heading down the elevator. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll be heading out to the elevator with tears in our eyes.
Yeah.
How else do you get on elevators?
Yeah.
Nice.
You guys normally not cry? I'm confused.
All right, I'm going to change us over then to our battle layout for battle, not for pictures. Boop.
Oh, right.
It's more often used for pictures, but here we are for battle. So, finally, here to upper.
Oh, we're loving the multiple angles.
Nice. Got a little better sorted earlier, but I don't just have to do. Don't let my perfectionism take over. We'll be here all night. Okay. You might see some giant spiders here, but don't worry, it's not giant spiders. That's just the closest I have to what these are. So, there we go. Yeah. Couple things. We're gonna switch to we will role play our way into this, I promise. But is that it? Oh my goodness. It's just gonna be a pain, isn't it? One moment, please. I'm so sorry. There we go. Right. Just getting my document set up that has all of our, that is prepared for this. There it is. This is
Is this good laughing or bad laughing? Like, it reminds me of there's like an Instagram video of like a DM behind the like screen kind of rolling like 30 dice and going, oh, and then rolling 10 more and be like, ah. And
No.
then, like, continuing,
Yeah.
all the players are just like,
don't
what is
know.
happening?
What's going on?
know.
Oh, I love that. All right, let me I just want to set the mood here. We got to, of course we have to have our battle music playing, because it really just does the trick of bumping this up. We put it here for Zoom for our players. And I've got my battle dock up and ready. All right, so you all navigate down through your estate here on your secret flying island, Macaw. Only lore and legend until you found it. And this residence is just tops the Soul Mountain in the center of this. I think it's like 1.5 or 2 mile wide island, floating island. You're here to reconnect Rinne with the power source. Rinne too weakened to engage in combat, so they're not stepping in, but they're in the elevator ready. They're ready to move the elevator in case you're all like, "We got to get out of here." Don't forget the elevator's right here. You can bolt if you try, because Zia can seal the door. With the rest of the crew elsewhere currently, the three of you have agreed to help Rinne clear. Rinne was stuck for eons in this cycle of life and death every day, born anew at midnight, growing old in these huge hulking nightmare creature forms, and then dying just at the stroke of midnight, where a new little baby nightmare creature would be birthed out of the body, the old one. Well, some of these bodies over time found their way into this room. 2 of them, it turns out. To try and sustain themselves with this. The cycle continued as the new one was born, but the corpses reanimated. So they are basically nightmare creature corpses that are animated with the magic of. Oh, shame on
I
me.
like that.
Yeah, real quick. RQ. We should, hopefully, I've got it in here, a little image of this as the elevator. But it's an elevator dings, and you arrive at this. I believe it's the 4th basement floor. Gonna cover up the thing a little bit, but that's okay. Here we go. You'll have to watch it on Twitch, but this is the room that sprawls out before you. It's a pretty. There's a certain beauty to the space. It looks like a cavern almost. And there's a bunch of glowing crystals in the floor, in the walls. There's open portions, like a porous section of the wall that peers out further into like a mist, deeper within this cave section. You're looking at an area that the center of this particular portion has really tall buildup of mineral and stone here, and you can either walk around it to the left or around it to the right. But you hear, not long after stepping in this room and taking in this absolutely stunning visual, heavy footfalls that seem to march with a skittering somehow, despite being heavy. And the creatures you're seeing are effectively that of the adult nightmare creature, but a little warped and twisted in an undead kind of way. Certain sections of flesh and sinews sloughing off or dangling by threads of connective tissue. I'm going to turn off, in direct contrast to the natural beauty of this particular space, you are confronted with these 2 things. So may I please have the 3 of you roll initiative, and I'll go around and ask everybody what they got. You just remove everybody else here since 3 of you. Sadie, when you're ready, let me know. Excuse me, what'd you get?
16.
16 for Sadie. Right. 16. All right. Elana, what'd you get?
Also 16.
Ooh. Sadie, what's your dex?
Probably not as good as Alana's. 0.
0. What's your
Well,
score?
plus 0, 11. Sorry.
Gotcha, no problem. Elana, what's yours?
14 for +2.
Okay, 14. Then Elana, you will actually go just ahead. I'm going to very quickly fix. It's pulling some old banner, but we don't have your cool thing, Elana, and I don't want that. The cool art here. It loves doing this, but we want to keep things moving. Elana. Okay. Back to battle. There we go. Much better. All right, and Zia.
22.
Oh, nice. All right, 22. That puts you above. Above them. And let's see what our nightmare corpses get. All right, that's 9. So, needless to say, they'll be going at the end of the run here. Well done, everybody. Here. Okay, these two creatures are skittering up, but I would like to know, as you all enter, I currently have you with Sadie. I'm sorry, Sadie and Zia up front, and Elana like 10 feet behind. But I know sometimes, Zia sneaks in and kind of stays near the back with Shabs. What's the marching order you would like to enter here? Who wants to go first? This would have been before the creatures showed up.
Right. Zia has a couple of things that she's going to want to prepare.
Okay.
And so she probably was kind of telling people about that on the way down. And so she'll probably remain a little bit towards the back
Okay.
to begin with.
Alrighty. And Sadie, where do you want to be?
I would say Sadie would be one of the first ones to strut in.
Okay. And Elana, how about you?
I'll be like in between the two of them.
In between them. Okay. Just have you sort of marching like this with Sadie 10 paces ahead. You're right. Zia is. Oh, cheat. We'll just move everyone up a little bit so you can see where you're starting. Zia, you're right here. Elana's right here. And then Sadie, you're 10 feet in front of them. As the creatures kind of skitter down and come into sight. You're about here. You see they are, gosh, huge. I think they're one size up from that. They take up about 15 feet as they lumber through. So I can't think of what the size. It's not gargantuan. There's something about huge, giant. They're giant creatures. Dun dun dun. So, Zia, you're up top. What would you like to do?
So the first thing Zia is going to do is activate. Obviously, before coming in, she's already equipping her Sunblade, but she would activate her Wings of Flying. And so you would see a first pair of wings, large angelic wings, come into existence, I guess.
Beautiful, yeah.
For lack of a better word. And then as bonus, she would probably then attempt to hide, which is going to be kind of hard with the giant wings, but
nice.
There's still more to come, so.
Okay. You can backtrack a little and hide probably. You went 5, 10, 15, 20. You can get behind here, and we move this and see if you can see that on the screen or not.
Yep, perfect.
Okay. These piles of gems are to illustrate like the different growths of minerals and the lights but they're pretty tall. So if you want to, fly up and over or behind or anything, there's room to be flying too, if you want.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And that'll be the turn.
Okay. Or you can. Right. Okay. So you hit. All right. Yep. So use the hide action disappear from sight. Elana, what would you like to do? And Sadie, you'll be up next. Mm-hmm.
I would like to cast Melf's Minute Meteors.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be the 6 meteors floating around me. I'm gonna send 2 of them. Which one's number 2?
This one. You're right.
I'll send it to baddie number 1.
Okay.
And I'm gonna send 2 of them out.
Hey, are those attack rolls, I think? Spell attack rolls?
It's a dex saving throw.
Oh. Hey.
The DC of 18.
Jeez, all right. This one. They fail the first one. So you hit with the first one, and you hit with the second one. They both hit. Go ahead and roll that beautiful damage.
So that's gonna be, I think it's 4d6 for the 2 total. Right. 6 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I think actually, because of one of my feats, I get to add plus my intelligence modifier for damage, which is plus 6.
Okay. Right, because it's your type of magic, the fire.
Oh no, wait, I should check that.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry.
Hmm.
I was reading that part earlier but forgot. It is evocation.
Okay.
So.
All right. So an additional 7, you said? 6, rather?
6.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're 13 to 19. All right. 19. Beautiful. What do you want that to look like as you're like bringing that into existence as this halo and then firing it off, hitting the spider?
So when she casts the spell, her eyes will turn an all-white, glowing, pinkish color,
Mm.
and she'll kind of like move her arms around. Her arm will glow with arcane energy as she points her hand towards the enemy and sends 2 of them flying.
Nice. Babe roots it. Call the home run. Nice. Okay. So you fire over and just fire, taking purchase on this nightmare creature's face and scorching across its rotten flesh, cascading over it or wafting into nothing. Okay. All right. Do you have anything else for your turn? Okay. You want to move at all? There's a bonus action or moving if you want to move too.
I'll stay put.
Okay. All right. That brings us to Sadie. You want to do?
Okay. Sadie is going to anyone that looks at Sadie would kind of see that she looks nervous, very nervous right now. But she will step up to one of these creatures and pull out her glaive and try to attack whichever one is closest, Dan. And she'll move right up to it.
Okay. Yeah, 5.
Actually,
10,
she'll move within
15.
10 feet of it because it has a 10-foot range.
Okay. You
on
only
the
have to
glaive.
use 10 feet of your movement to get there. So you got 20 feet of your movement left if you want or need.
Well, I only had to use 10 feet. I actually have 40 feet of movement left.
Nice.
Sadie has a sweet. All right. Let's see. How do I fight? I don't know. Yeah, it's a 17 to hit.
Okay, you swing in. 17 just hits.
Perfect.
This hulking nightmare creature form.
It is
Scrambling
a
up.
13 slashing damage.
Okay, beautiful. Without
And
even giving it a
go
second
ahead.
look. As it skitters up, you just charge forward.
Yeah.
Slash it with your first attack. What's next?
Another attack with the glaive. That is a. Let's see here. I think that is not a hit. Anything there? Okay, no. That is that's only a 16 to hit.
Okay. So what do you want that first attack, that successful one, to look like and the miss?
She will after the first time and look very just kind of just slice into it with the glaive.
Mm-hmm.
She'll almost like pause before the second one and look almost surprised at herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll kind of go into the second one a little bit too cocky and we'll whiff a bit. We'll whiff
Nice.
the hit.
Okay.
Your curse under her breath.
Nice.
This is the
Beautiful.
second one.
All right. They're gonna take their turns, and then Zia will be back up. Okay, so let's tackle number one here, as it's been scorched with a fireball. You come running in right past that, Sadie, and get it with the first attack, whiff with the second, and it is going to try and it reaches out with this so far its face has no eyes, no nose, it's just skin pulled taut over it and its mouth, and you see this slit rip open where its mouth would be, and two rows of fangs sit within its mouth, one in front of the other, and it tries to bite the head about the size of your body. Comes in for a bite. That is an 18 to hit.
That hits.
That hits? Okay. 8, 13 piercing damage.
Okay.
That. Okay. And then, so it gets you in its jaws and kind of like pivots your torso. It's got your whole torso, and it's all as it bites and pulls back, rending a little bit of flesh. And as you're getting back in a defensive position, a claw swings out to try and swipe you. Oh, I don't think that's gonna hit though. That's a 14 to hit.
Just misses.
Okay.
Well, actually, no, I think it just hits 14.
If
My
your
AC is 14.
Okay, yep. Okay, it'll
It just
hit.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Oops. That is 16 points of slashing damage as it comes across and claws you. You're in a defensive position. You kind of have a block as it gets you to the side. Do you have a question?
No.
Okay. And just as you're flinching from that, it does its final attack with its other claw coming back the other way, trying to build up that momentum to get you.
Okay.
I highly doubt. No, this is a 12. A 12 to hit.
Okay, no, 12 does not hit.
Okay. This one, you see it last second and like do half a leap back as you hear on the front of your armor little tears in the cloth. It just misses. Okay, that's number one. Number two, 40 feet. Is going to come up and try and go for you, Elana.
Oh no. The wizard, the glass cannon.
All right, that's a It's a 25 to hit.
What?
So that does it, but give me just a moment.
It does hit. Is there any of those things you have? I know sometimes
Yes.
wizards have shield.
I do. What was the roll again?
25.
Oh yeah, shield won't help me. So I.
Okay. So it comes in. You're not sure what to expect. It has this really rapid way of walking. Skitters up quick, and its head is almost like scrunched back like a turtle, and its body, and it extends out as it bites, catching you off guard. It's cocked. Come on, Dan. Learn how to roll it. Dice. 5. So 11 points of piercing damage with its bite. It then tries to break down with its claws, trying to get you right in the side of the neck if it can. That's so a 16 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay, all right. Now you have, what was it? Because I know you guys it was the tattoo, the warding. Oh, what do you want that visual to look like? The spell is bolstering your AC. So some sort of magic thing. What do you want that to look like? Is that magic?
I imagine her kind of like reeling back a bit, like as a reactionary kind of like, oh, is this someone after me? And then almost like a force protecting her as her tattoos all around her body start glowing.
Nice. Yeah, 'cause you got them all down. Like, well, the good arm and the good shoulder on the other side before your arcane.
They're on her legs, they're up her sides, on her arms,
Okay.
on her back. They're everywhere.
You can almost hear a hum from the electricity with that particular spell tattoo. It's like, and the creature has this like static arcing electricity as it grinds across the magic. Comes back the other way with its other claw for a 17 to hit.
Still doesn't hit.
Jeez, okay. All right, that's it. That's its turn. So we're up to Zia, and Elana, you'll be on deck. So, Zia, what you got?
So Zia now activates Radiant Soul, and so she gains her second pair of wings that bursts. As well as then she imbues the Sunblade through chromatic infusion with lightning in addition to its radiant.
Oh, sweet.
And so, unfortunately, that is all I can do at this stage.
But you're ready.
So, there it is.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's this solar light, the flare from this the silver blade, and then on top of it, that electricity sort of arcs off and zaps on the stone and other stuff nearby as you power it up. Right in the double set of wings, the light envelops the first set, and it's just this incredible wingspan now available to you. All right, Elana, you're up. Sadie, you're on deck. Elana, what do you want to do?
I'd like to move over
Okay.
2 spots.
You're here. Which way? This way?
Sorry, taking a while to show up on the stream. The other way.
Okay, so 1, 2. And let me know when it catches up. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
There. Then I'd like to cast Immolation.
Okay.
Which is another just deck save DC
Oh.
for 18.
No, that's a 2. It rolled a 1. So, fail on the spider. Success for you.
And that is 8d6 of damage.
Jeez, what spell is this again?
Immolation.
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
So that's 27 points of damage,
Okay.
and it's an evocation spell, so it's another +6.
Amazing. Here we got what was it? 27
Nice.
to 633. Okay, so What does that look like while I'm deducting this?
Again, her eyes will glow,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll just hold her hand out. Again, the arm coursing with energy, and flames will rise up from the ground, circling around it, and just engulf it in flames.
Nice. Does that have a spread, or it's just that enemy? There's nothing like people within 5 feet or anything?
Uh, it doesn't say anyone else. Just says breathe one creature.
Okay. Then you're good. All right. Sadie's there.
Sheds bright light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, at the end of each of its turns, target repeats the saving throw. It takes 4d6 fire damage on a failed save.
Oh, nice. Okay. Is that a concentration spell?
It is.
Okay, just keep that in mind. You can only have one concentration spell up at a time, which is all you do have now. But before you use another spell, just check to see if it's concentration.
The Melf's one was concentration. I still had some of them floating around. So does that mean
You would lose that one.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, that peters out as it becomes this immolating fire on this other spider. So, all right, you're getting spider 2. That 33 was at spider 2. We apply it to the correct one. Jeez, that took a lot of its health down pretty quickly. Okay, love it.
And I'll still I still have my bonus action, right?
Yes.
I'd like to use my face stab.
Okay.
And I'll just teleport to behind it.
Wow. Okay. The right behind it, or do you want to go? That's 5, 10, 15. Be 20 feet to teleport behind it. But that's directly behind it. If you want to go further, because you're teleporting, it doesn't incur an attack of opportunity. You're just disappearing and reappearing somewhere else.
Just directly behind it's fine.
Okay. It looks
Mostly just to mess with it.
yeah, it's the flames. I mean, don't subside, but as they flicker, suddenly you're not there. And it's confused. Okay, that brings us up to Sadie. Sadie, what you got?
Oh.
Hmm.
Okay. Looking at the Sadie just kind of like looking between the two creatures, and it seems like that she's becoming a little bit alarmed and reckless as she goes in to try and attack. Almost like that she's trying to, like, losing control of something.
Beautiful.
She'll go in and attack the I don't know if she was attacking the one kind of away from everything, or
You were
she would turn and
attacking
attack
number
the one.
Up here
Okay.
before. You want to turn and attack this one instead?
Okay, yeah, she'll turn and attack that one instead. Yes.
Okay. You're within 5 feet of this one, so you spin around.
Okay.
Is this a reckless attack? Is that what you were?
No,
intimating?
it's
Okay.
just I was just giving a little bit of flavor of what
Nice.
she's looking like right now.
Oh.
Breathing kind of heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And this shows. That was a 12 to hit. So
Oh, okay.
she swings the glaive very recklessly and completely misses.
Mhm.
And okay, that was a for the second one, that is a 26 to hit.
Okay, that'll hit. Yep.
And okay, and 11 slashing damage for that one.
Okay, beautiful. All right, you're attacking this one.
And she'll kind of, with that second one, as she kind of refocuses herself, will kind of yell out, kind of, with a grunt of frustration as she brings down the glaive a second time and hits.
Nice, nice. Okay. Any bonus action or movement?
I do a bonus action, yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
I would say at
time.
this point, after missing, I think, yeah. Okay, give me 2 seconds here.
Okay.
Even after she's done attacking the creature, she'll kind of let out another like grunt of frustration as she looks around.
Mm-hmm.
Her eyes will land on, will kind of go, to the other party members, Zia and Elena currently, and just kind of like look in between them, very like almost like a animal trapped in a corner.
Mm-hmm.
And as a free action, I would like to mentally speak to them,
Mm-hmm.
if that's okay.
Absolutely.
You'll hear in your minds, I'm sorry I didn't explain this before. And she'll suddenly start, as she enters into rage, will start to, oh shit, start to grow this kind of fur all over, on her arms and onto her hands, and kind of washing over her body. And you'll kind of notice, you would notice the hair color change from red to this white color.
Mm-hmm.
And the face kind of shift a bit, as this kind of transformation takes place. The extra thing that I'm going to add here, I think for this one, will be, so she can grow that extra thing.
Mm-hmm.
Will probably be a tail.
Okay.
That kind of reaches out from behind her and looks part fur, with also some like branches and leaves kind of tangled up in it, as it kind of reaches out there, and kind of does a couple of swipes.
Okay.
That all happens kind of while Sadie is looking at the two of you,
Mhm.
and they will turn back to the creature once it's done. Not looking as cornered now, looking a little bit more, I guess, a little bit almost depleted, but calm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right. You all, as a free action, is there anything you all want to say back? You don't have to. Just want to give you the opportunity.
I think Sia's just gonna think to herself, I think we've seen crazier.
Oh, it's Tuesday, is it?
I feel like Elana would look over because she's like right next to her. Like, what the hell?
Beautiful. All right. Well, over to the nightmare creatures with Zia on deck. Let's see. I think this nightmare creature's number one is going to go first. It's going to take that step forward towards you, Sadie, as you attacked it. It's seeing you transform into something more bestial, something more primal and dangerous that it recognizes a little more as a danger. So it runs up, and instead of biting or clawing, this nightmare creature, of course, this giant nightmare creature corpse, skitters up quick and just tries to crush you in a hug. With a crushing hug, it's going to try and grapple you. So, this actually, it's not technically a grapple, it's an attack. So let's see if it even hits. I doubt that's going to hit. That's 12.
That does not hit. No.
Okay. Alright, can't do that, can't do that. That's it actually, because it's right? Okay. Yeah, no, that's it for its turn. Let me roll quick and see if this other one's gonna try and do the same, because they're a little alerted by this. They don't, Dia's well hidden. Dia is well hidden. Gonna skitter around. And this one's also gonna go big and try and give you that crushing hug as well, Sadie. Seeing that you're down. Yeah, I hear I hit a bistro thing. Okay, that's a 15 to hit.
15
to hit you in this
does
form?
hit. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. My goodness. Okay. All right, I'll have to roll that in a second. There's a grapple. Oh, and you are grappled. Period. Okay. When do you get to? You get to at the start of your turn. Okay. To try and escape it. All right.
So is grapple restrained, or is that something different?
Let's see. No, grappled means that your speed becomes 0.
Okay.
Okay. Into the grappler. This also ends. Yeah, that's it. Just that you can't. You can still attack, react.
Okay.
Bonus.
This isn't like. This is something physical. It's not magic, right?
Correct. Yes. Just come in with its massive.
Okay.
I was trying to crush
Just wanted
you.
to make sure.
Yeah, please do. Rolling so low.
I do have a reaction attack. Oh no, it didn't hit me, right? It's just grappling me.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
33 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh. Am I able to move my tail for a reaction? Because I do have a reaction having the tail out.
Yes.
All right. So. Okay.
Your tail's the only thing that's just for flavor, right? Your tail's really, you've got your arms out and stuff, but you're feeling the crushing of your ribs compressing and poking into organs, and it's like it's restrictive and really hard to breathe. You enable your tail here for this reaction.
That's only a 14 to hit for the reaction.
Unfortunately, it doesn't hit. No, but it kind of glances off.
That's right, it was higher.
Okay. It just crushes little extra as you go to swing your tail. Winces back from the pain.
Okay.
Okay. That's it for them. Zia, you're up and Elana's on deck. Oh, Elana, what you got?
Number 2 has to roll a dex save again.
Oh, because it's the end of its turn. Okay. Oh, that's a dirty 20.
Son of a bitch. Okay, then the spell ends.
Okay.
The flames will disappear.
Which is fortunate for the spiders, does not have a great dex. Okay. All right. Kind of rolls in place. Puts out the fire. Doesn't see you yet, though. Right, thank you for that reminder, Elana. Zia, what you got?
Zia, now with her 4 wings, unfurls them and nearly instantaneously zooms to flank against the one that Elana is currently engaged with.
Okay. And near instant, you are flanked behind us. You want to be flanking with Sadie? It doesn't matter, probably, right? Whether it's Sadie or
Flanking with Elana because Sadie's grappled.
okay. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, nice.
Okay. And at that moment, she's gonna take the Sunblade, unsheath with Radiant, swirling with lightning, and she's gonna go to try to hit.
Beautiful. Yeah, what'd you get?
26.
Holy shit! Yeah, that absolutely
Ooh.
hits. Yes.
Okay. Let's. Whew. Okay. So we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that starts off with 4 radiant damage.
Okay.
Plus 10 additional radiant damage for the radiant soul. So 14 radiant.
Okay.
Plus. Oh, where is it? There it is. Plus 4 lightning damage.
Nice.
And then. 18 from the sneak attack.
Yes.
So that's
Sneak
18 plus 4 plus 4 plus 10. So it's 36 damage total.
Beautiful. Okay. Wow. Okay, so let me just see if this move it's doing if it's any sort of a concentration thing. Passing if okay, now it's still able to hold on. Doesn't have any back. Still, a whopping amount of damage. This second creature here is looking pretty beat. It's looking pretty bad. It's within its death is nigh.
Yeah.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay, anything else for Zia?
You just see her now, just standing, 4 wings erect, with the radiant sword stretched out, nearly 10 feet long,
Nice.
swirling with lightning.
It's epic. Just the light show from this, from Zia, and this incredible form of the double sets of wings and the divine the energy off the sword and the electricity and just pulling it up out of the spider. It's looking at a spider faltering beneath her. Oh, beautiful. Okay, my goodness. All right, Elana, you're up next. Sadie, you're on deck. Elana, what you got?
All right. So focusing on the same one
Mhm.
that Zia just attacked, I'm going to use Scorching Ray.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
At which the normal level?
yeah.
Okay, what's the first
There's
attack?
There's a 28 hit.
Yup.
All right. Do I?
Let me know damage for each one, because if you finish one, you can move it over, your next attack to the other one.
Okay. That one's a 2, but I'm gonna add the 6 to that.
Okay, so 8.
Right, then roll again.
Yeah, yep, it's still alive, but looking very close to death at this point. Like a sitting target.
Okay. All right, that one was a 12.
A 12 does not hit.
Okay, we'll roll again. Does a 28
A
hit?
28 hit still. Yep.
Cool.
Get it.
All right, and then that one was a 6.
6. Elana, how do you want to vanquish this spider?
Very inspired by Zia's complete destruction on this nightmare creature. To just kind of like take a deep breath to calm herself, because she was like, "Oh my god, that was so cool." And then she's gonna summon like 3 balls of fire rolling around her, and then with a flick of her fingers, send the 3 of them flying. 1 hit, 1 miss, and then 1 last one.
Ugh. Beautiful. So there's this big gash through the spider where Dia went through with it, cutting with all that energy. The electricity crackling and blowing bits out of its innards, but the front couple of feet is still intact. And these fireballs, basically, the first one smashes its head apart, the second one misses just barely, and the third one pushes through the last bit of its body. It was connecting its left and right half, just allowing it to obliterating the end of it, the rest of its head, and the whole body slumps to the ground, dead for good now.
Amazing. Um,
Okay.
I'd like to use my bonus action actually
Yep.
to face step again
Okay.
as close as I can to the other side of the other one to try and flank.
You got 30 feet with that, right?
Right. I'll just use whatever of my movement if I don't read.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nope. It's 25 feet, so you easily make it.
Okay, cool.
Do you have anything in addition with the face step that comes with it in this form that you want to use, or no?
Yeah, so after she casts, she'll turn around and in like a spinning motion, she disappears and surrounds her as like sakura
Blossoms.
blossoms, yeah.
Nice.
Kind of poof in the shape and height that she was at and then fall to the ground. And appear with her again as she appears behind the nightmare creature.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Then Sadie, it's your turn. What would you like to do? One creature left.
Sadie is, so she is restrained, right? Still.
Yes, but you can make if you want with your action. You're welcome to try and escape this with a strength check.
Okay. You said that she can move her tail though while grappled, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay.
If you want to do that instead. Unless that's a reaction. It's your turn, so.
No, it's an action too. The tail has an action and a reaction.
Ah, okay, go for it.
Yeah, so she's going to not try to escape the grip and just kind of snarl at this like beast creature, or they're going to snarl, I should say. So, ooh, that's an 18 to hit.
Oh, that hits. Yep.
Okay. No, that is just. Okay. That is a 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
Also, I have a second attack with that, but it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh.
With infectious fury.
Oh, it rolled a natural 20, but let me see what its wisdom is. All right, 22.
Okay, yeah, it beat.
All right. What starts to happen? Okay. Is there anything that starts to happen before it succeeds? Because that sounds cool.
No, you'll just see the tail just kind of whip again, and like a spike will form on it, and we'll just kind of like try to land into it.
Nice.
And with the second attack, since there are 2 attacks here, that is a 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
And that is a. Okay, so that's only 6 piercing damage for that one.
Okay. Beautiful. All right. Oh my goodness. All right. So you do that. Is that it for Sadie? Okay. Let's see. At the start of its turn, you take the bludgeoning damage again as it's still crushing you. So that'll be. Well, not at once.
Right.
Mm, just 34 points of bludgeoning damage as it crushes you once again in its crushing hug. You know you
See.
hear bones snap.
Sadie's looking rough.
Mm-hmm. It's a little hard to breathe, like not just because of the constriction, but you think something might have pierced. And you feel the air kind of gurgling and rasping. Okay, that just happens because you're still in the grasp. So it is probably going to... Who's nearby here? No, it can't make attacks while grappling the creature in this way. So that is the end of its turn. That's it. So that brings us back up to the top with Zia.
Zia is going to essentially fly so fast as to be instantaneous and to flank again with Elana.
Hey. You're there, which means don't forget you've got advantage on the attack rolls.
Yep.
In an instant, anime style, you fly over.
Okay. Okay. 22. Okay. We're good for the sun blade.
Nice.
Okay. And then... Okay, so this is going to do 8 radiant. 18 radiant.
Nice.
Or wait, nope, I have to roll for that. I can't just...
You roll the naturally.
Eh.
Okay. And then... Okay, and then... Okay. So, okay. 18 radiant. Plus 4 lightning.
Okay.
Plus 17 from the sneak attack.
Oh my goodness.
So that's 18 plus 17 plus 4. 39 damage.
I love
Nice.
you, like, setting Elana. You tore through so much of this thing's health. It's hanging on by a thread at this point.
Oh, yeah.
That
Zia
was...
basically, like, teleported behind and then just shoved that thing as far as it would go into its back and then let that lightning loose.
Nice. It arcs between the body and the legs and dances around off the skin, tearing bits of flesh as it scorches and arcs out of the body, zapping around between the little connectors where the eyes should be and stuff as well. Okay. Anything else for Zia on this turn? All right, Elana.
Can't do anything else.
Amazing. Elana, you're up. Sadie, you're on deck. Elana, what do you want to do?
Right. I'm going to cast Chromatic Orb just at the first level.
Oh, nice. Okay. Love that spell. Is that an attack or a dex save?
It's an attack.
Okay.
But I have advantage, right? Because flanking.
You do?
Great. Alright, 21.
That hits, absolutely.
Awesome. I'm going to do lightning damage.
All right.
That is 19 plus 6. That's going to be 25.
Okay. How do you want to destroy this particular spider?
Nice.
I mean, a spider, you know, nightmare creature.
Just with her hand, she'll summon a little ball of lightning and just not even like throw it, but just kind of like push it towards it.
It slowly passes through its body. Just everything that Zia's attack just tore up, it just dances within like a mostly empty shell of a nightmare creature at this point. Finishing off with that electricity, bits exploding here and there, before it goes out the ass end, and whatever's left of this body just piles up on itself, dead, truly dead now, on the ground of this area. And yeah, you hear Rinne walking in, sort of slow clapping, like, incredible. But you're out of battle.
Theor's gonna face step or Theor.
Oh, you had your
Can't
first
remember. Elana.
wrong character name from campaign.
Alana's gonna face step
Mhm.
over to where Sadie is,
Mhm.
and is going to cast
look-
Cure Wounds on her.
Thank you. Sadie looks very different. The rage is kind of the fur and stuff that had covered their skin has kind of faded away. And so when you step up to them, Elana, they have this light blue skin and this long white hair kind of pulled back. With and kind of they'll look up to you with these kind of visible scars on their face and eyes that are this kind of very icy blue.
All right. Well, you look very different than what I'm used to. But first, let's just get you taken care of. And she'll kind of like pull her out, if that's possible.
Yeah, if the
like,
corpses hold. Yeah.
Corpses. It's only 7 points of healing, so I'm not very good with
Thank you.
healing, but it's the thought that counts.
Nice.
And 7 points further away from dying.
So,
Do we want to talk about this, or is that going to be another time? Because we're not really at the level where I'm going to push for answers, but
I think we should probably see what we need to do first.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Zia steps up to like 2 sets of wings and glowing eyes and crackling electricity on the sunblade.
Yeah, and with her free hand, she just puts her hand on Sadie's shoulder and casts healing hands for 10 additional points.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course.
Definitely Sadie looks very uncomfortable. We should have do what we came in here for.
And Zeal turned to Rinne.
I just need to make my way up there. You can assist.
Alana like immediately scurries over to.
Nice. They kind of, lean on, arm over, sort of leaning on your shoulders. All right. And there you walk up and around this slope on either side of that central block of stone. And at the top is, it kind of looks like a crystal throne. The crystals are formed in a way where someone could sit down. It seems to be a central location where a lot of these crystals grow out, from which a lot of these crystals grow out. Rinne sits down and rests, and this will take some time. Please, you're welcome to stay, but maybe by this evening, I should be recharged, and all this should be recharged. Thank you so much. The crystals kind of glow and start this rhythm of cycling up. And I think that's probably a pretty good place to end the session tonight. Yeah. Well done, everybody. Amazing battle to clear his point in Twitch chat. It's beautiful. Everyone's like, I'm going to do this big spell, and everything worked.
Mm-hmm.
We had a cool scene where we got to see like Sadie instead of, because even your hair's different, right? Or no?
No, the hair is white.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shock white hair,
Longer.
the scars, everything
Mhm.
kind of looks different. That's after the beast form. Zia with the dual wings and all the other stuff. Elana turning into Sakura blossoms. There's all this like learning about each other in this particular battle.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done, players. You're all so amazing. And way to have that balance, right? All the heavy RP right into a beautiful battle.
After a beautiful story.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, you all like elevate everything so much. but I'm happy to contribute anything I can to this because y'all are just so incredible. All right, well, let's see. Um, well, listen, if you're new here tonight, thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate having you, the company. And I hope that you all had fun. You've been watching our Saturday night Sky Pirate campaign, episode 82. Yeah. So much is built up, and so glad to be able to share it with y'all here. If you had fun tonight and you're new, please consider giving us a follow because we have other D&D streams across the week. That way you can be alerted, and of course helps us. Otherwise, for now, we're gonna go ahead and raid some of our friends over at the Lord Byron channel. Oops, wrong button, Dan. There we go. So consider giving a call, Maerwynn raid when we hop over. And even if you don't follow, we hope that we catch you next Saturday so you can see what happens with all this wonderful stuff. Oh, thank you, Daniel Lance, for the sub. Thank you all for being here and interacting. Have a great night, Thrak and Dulam. Yes, so happy to hang out with y'all. Have a great night. We're gonna raid over. We'll catch you soon. Bye.
Bye.
What a night.
Oh, what a night.
Steph, I just wanted to add, I love the costume change.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Impressive.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
That needs to be said immediately.
I've had the basket ready every night since starting
amazing.
Sadie.
You never
So
know. Did you have just that side of your face covered with your hair, or did I just not notice some of the scars?
no,
on there?
I applied the scars after.
Oh, nice. That's
That's
fast
so
work.
cool. That's because I was literally looking at that and I was like, should I bring that up? Because that might be real. And I might just have blocked it out of my
No,
brain.
no, it's
Nice.
just a pencil. Yeah.
It looks great.
Thanks.
It's just a pencil.
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, okay?
Very
You're fine. I remember being a teenager in my late teens, and there were like people had these little popsicle stick spiral things that would blow in the wind. Like it's down in a spiral. It's just a bunch of popsicle sticks, glued together in like a sloping downward angle. But the wind catches them, and they just look like this cool spiral. I was like, oh, it's so cool. My mom's like, it's popsicle sticks. I was like,
Nope.
well, I'm so sorry, but it looks cool. So, you're A-okay. All right.